potatoes of this live stream. Guys, please share the live, share the live, share the live. Share the live, guys. Hit the like button. Don't forget. Please, it's imperative that you not forget to hit the like button. All right? And thank you in advance to all the wonderful people that remember to do so. And remember, it's free, guys. You're not charged to hit the like button, It's absolutely free. So I think that should be more incentive for you guys to go wild where the like button is concerned. Sharing the live is also free. Share the live with 5 people. Share the live with 10 people. Why not? We're doing good content over here. I know they say you should not toot your own horn, but we have to call a spade a spade.
The Integrity Commission's report.
We have to call a spade a spade. Now, we're going to go to the press conference of the PMP. Yeah. And did I forget to play anything? Did I? I don't think I did, No, I don't think I did. Yeah, I think we're on schedule. I think we're on point. All right, so let's get into that breakdown. Philly are the vibes. You say Bolo Nation? Boy, that one they sound kind of tough still, me not lie. But it sound kind of too what would I say now? It sound too Gaza. So me not really want to be seen as no done. So just say team Bolo. I think that's modest, and I like modest. I don't like the roo rah. You understand? Yeah. Yeah, man. Me don't want to be perceived as not done. Or not teacher. Them a lock up teacher right now, and the teacher them a run me, and the teacher they not get paid. So me don't want to put myself in that category. They say? Yeah. But let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, yes, here we go.
The Integrity Commission's report that was tabled this Tuesday in the House of Representatives. In the House of Representatives, it's in fact 2 reports. There's an investigation report, which is a lengthy document, 171 pages long, and that has a report that was produced by the Director of Investigations of the Integrity Commission. And there's also a special report, which is a short 1-page document coming from the commissioners themselves. And that latter report calls upon Parliament to support the recommendations of the Director of Investigations in the investigation report that matters arising from the report be referred to the Financial Investigations Division, the FID. The Integrity Commission's report makes the important point that as Prime Minister and Head of Government, Mr. Andrew Holness has a higher duty to the public to ensure that the laws of Jamaica are maintained and that he acts in keeping with the standards of principled behavior required of his very high office. I'm sad to say, and I take no glee in saying this, that Mr. Holness has failed in this solemn duty to the Jamaican people. He has known since May 2023 that he was under investigation for illicit enrichment, which is a corruption offense created by Section 14.5 of the Corruption Prevention Act. Yes, Mr. Holness is one of the illicit 6, now the illicit 8, and he has known this for well over a year. Yet Mr. Holness misled the country by withholding the truth about this investigation in statements that he made both in and outside Parliament over this period, even telling Jamaica that he had asked far and wide, and none of his MPs were under investigation for illicit enrichment. This extended withholding of the truth, this fundamentally dishonest deception of the people of Jamaica obliterates any trust and confidence in the Prime Minister. How can we believe anything he says in light of the extended failure to tell us the truth that he was indeed under investigation for a serious criminal offense? This unprecedented situation is fundamentally incompatible with his continuing to hold office as Prime Minister. The Integrity Commission's report contains several serious findings which reinforce the need for Mr. Holness to go now. I will mention 3 of these. Firstly, there is the purchase of an investment for 94,000 US dollars, using as part of the money that was put up to buy this investment, 32,000 US dollars from a registered charity, of which Mr. Holness is a director, called the Positive Jamaica Foundation, commingled with resources from his personal company, Imperium, including 30,000 US dollars from an account that he had with SSL. Yes, SSL. Mr. Holness reported this investment for several years as 100% belonging to his company Imperium, when the charity's money had been used to acquire it, as well as his own. Indeed, a third of the money came from the charity. One can only wonder how local and international donors to that charity feel about its resources being used to enrich Mr. Holness personally. Secondly, the filing of nil returns by Mr. Holness's personal companies, nil tax returns, indicating that they had no taxable income or expenses when the companies did in fact have substantial income and expenses, is a matter which the Integrity Commission suggests could be a significant violation under Jamaica's tax laws and should be referred to the Commissioner General of Tax Administration, Jamaica, for action. Indeed, the payments between Mr. Holness's personal companies over the review period exceeded $400 million. Then there's the creation of a situation of conflict of interest by Mr. Holness appointing his business partner and co-investor in his personal real estate company, Mr. Norman Brown, to be chairman of two important public bodies, the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, and the Housing Association of Jamaica, HAJ, both of which fall under Mr. Holness's portfolio responsibility as minister, and both of which operate in the real estate sector. Mr. Holness has placed Jamaica, our beloved country and our cherished democracy, in a dangerous and untenable situation. His integrity issues cannot be resolved, partly because of the baffling complexity of his personal financial affairs. He operated no less than 28 bank accounts, 28. His three personal companies were involved in a very high volume of transactions, averaging over 4 per banking day during the period of review. Including many substantial intercompany payments, and including over $4.5 million of so-called cardless cash deposits made over a 3-month period into his bank account by depositors whose identity remains unknown to the Commission. And partly, the matter is unresolved because Mr. Holness's own refusal to provide information about aspects of his affairs, which was requested by the Integrity Commission for the purposes of their investigation. The Prime Minister therefore remains the subject of an incomplete investigation for illicit enrichment, as the Integrity Commission has been unable to conclude its investigation, in part because of Mr. Holness refusing to provide them with critical information that they need to do so.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Philly Yardy was saying that Hillary Clinton and Bill Gates make tons of money from their foundation, right? And I'm saying that's facts. No, that's why I said we should look into Nigel Clark's non-profit organizations, the charities, the foundations. Those need to be looked into, because remember, Nigel Clark messed up and said that our Meaning him and Andrew Holness was at a press conference, I believe. It was a press conference, right? And there was, he was saying, or a meeting of some sort. I need to get that clip. He was saying, our foundation. But then he cleared it up. And basically retracted the statement saying that it was a mistake. Right? He said it was a mistake. But given what is happening now, I have to go back to that. I really believe that they should investigate those non-profit organizations, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me what you think.
The Integrity Commission has recommended that the case be referred to the Financial Investigations Division, the FID, which specializes in financial crimes, including money laundering, and with which the Integrity Commission has an active Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, for mutual cooperation, which is provided for in Section 7, Subsection 12 of the Integrity Commission Act, and also by an equivalent provision in the FID Act as well. This is recommended so that further investigation can get to the bottom of his affairs. And the Integrity Commission has also made it clear that Mr. Holness's statutory declarations cannot and will not be certified as required by law until the investigations have been concluded. So, Jamaica has a Prime Minister who remains under investigation for the serious corruption offense of illicit enrichment and whose annual statutory declarations for 2021 onwards still cannot be certified by the country's Integrity Commission as required by law. This is a serious blot on the country's image, both locally and internationally. It is untenable for our Prime Minister not to be in good standing with the country's Integrity Commission. We cannot go on like this. The Prime Minister must step aside now or call fresh elections so that the people have the chance to elect a new government that can take our country out of this mess. Finally, it is important to dispel the deliberate falsehood that is being perpetrated in some circles of the Integrity Commission being motivated by political bias. While the developmental work on the legislation that created the Integrity Commission was done prior to 2016, the Integrity Commission Act was reviewed and then passed into law by this JLP government. The commissioners of the Integrity...
Very important. It was passed into law by this government. Why is Andrew Holness' statements pushing towards undermining the Integrity Commission when they are the ones that passed? Guys, you see this PR stunt and all of this thing, and his explanation, how it seems to undermine and try to point the finger at the Integrity Commission that somehow they were, there was some politically motivated reason why they were investigating him and everything. He just wants us people to believe that everything is on the up and up. And this is a frivolous investigation that is going on, and it holds no merit. When that could be further from the case, when you actually look at the document and everything and the transactions that they are waiving to be holy. I mean, over 100,000 US dollars in an account overseas. City Hall. In that account is US dollars, over 100,000 US dollars. Right? And then the source of funds for a lot of the transactions are questionable. Those are red flags. Mr. Andrew Holness want well-thinking Jamaicans to believe that somehow is one mistake from a bank. But then the bank is telling you, we have all the documentation. We went under his orders. There's letters that he signed on. He was well aware, and now he's saying he's not out. Yo, listen, man. This whole thing is crazy, bro. Like and share the video.
Integrity Commission were appointed under this
And don't believe not when we say in this video, this is entertainment purposes and it's all allegedly.
LP government, and Mr. Holness himself had an important role in their appointment. The staff of the Integrity Commission were all employed under this JLP government. The record shows
They were all employed by the JLP. So why is he now trying to undermine the same people that he employed? Why? The point of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Holness lied to the Jamaican public. He 100% lied to us that he was not aware of this investigation or anybody being investigated in his party.
The question is still going to be asked. Are there members of my party who have been written to for this crime of illicit enrichment? My straight answer is that I have asked as far and as wide. I have gotten that response from everyone. But as far as I have been told, no. People have been written to, as the Integrity Commission does almost daily. But I have not heard of anyone in my political party being written to for this matter of illicit enrichment. The question is still going to be asked.
That statement was made August 17, 2023. The Integrity Commission has had meetings with this man in his office, ladies and gentlemen. In his office. Yo, that is right there is where this is just.
What if I told you that
we cannot accept anything but a resignation at this point. There's no trust. No trust. The trust has been eroded. You understand what I'm saying? The trust has been eroded completely. Give me a second. I'm trying to find this clip because this young lady, she said it best. She said it best on all angles. She said it best. Where is that? It was yesterday, no? Let me just play this.
that the
Wagwan Ivan, bless up.
Commission has taken
like and share, guys. Like and share. How the lights them look?
Representatives from both political parties. This scurrilous suggestion that the Integrity Commission is motivated by political bias must therefore be rejected for the malignant mischief that it is.
Yes.
The Integrity Commission is a critical institution in the governance of our country. A country which is seriously afflicted by the scourge of corruption at the highest levels. The Integrity Commission must be nurtured and supported so that it can do its anti-corruption work without fear or favor. The continuing attempts to discredit, weaken, undermine, or intimidate the Integrity Commission, its commissioners and staff must be condemned and resolutely resisted by all well-thinking Jamaicans.
Quite so.
Thank you. I just want to close briefly by...
For the young and not that young people, Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Saying in relation to the incident that we
61
heard about
likes, come on!
Concerning the homelessness in their home.
Come on, guys. 61 likes, come on, man. Get the likes up. Get the likes up.
Condemned and resolutely resisted by all well-thinking Jamaicans. Thank you. I just want to close briefly by saying in relation to the incident that we heard about through the news last night concerning the homelessness in their home, that we absolutely abhor any such conduct. We call upon the security forces, law enforcement, to investigate it thoroughly, and if there are any perpetrators, to bring them to justice. And I want to extend my personal sympathies to Mr. and Mrs. Holness and their family. Thank you. I'll now ask Senator Donna Scott-Mann.
Thank you. And I associate myself with the comments made in relation to the report of what took place last night at the Prime Minister's home. And greetings. Last evening I was given what is called a brief. It is not a brief. It is a fake document very detailed in nature, clearly well written to the point, and it is the 172-page report of the Integrity Commission. As I read it, and I went through the 172 pages, some things jumped out at me. And one of the things that jumped out was that the allegations investigated and some of the findings made, could one person have caused these allegations to have surfaced? No. My mind as a lawyer practicing at the criminal bar saw that there...
Oh, and let me say this publicly. I don't wish for the Wholenesses or any government official or any Jamaican for that matter for any harm to come onto them because of their political stance on anything. I wish you no harm. My gripe is with your thought process. If you are not looking at this for what it is, my gripe is just with your thought process. How do you not see how damning this is? This is an embarrassment internationally, you know. And that is one of the reasons why the Prime Minister needs to resign right now. He needs to just tender immediate resignation. Especially with the need for a detailed and uninterrupted report by the outside bodies that the Integrity Commission recommended, because those outside bodies are going to need public funding to carry out this investigation, because this is a matter of the people of Jamaica. This is concerning to all well-thinking Jamaicans that we have a prime minister that these are some wild and wicked allegations that have credible reason behind them. So it's just the right thing for the prime minister to do, and we'll see if he'll do the right thing. I don't see how he cannot. I don't see how he cannot. There's no way to push this as politically a political attack. No. This is where you have to take accountability. This is the moment in time where you stand as a man and not cry like a baby. Alright? Because all I'm hearing is people crying like a baby, pretty much. Yeah.
There was elements.
Marshall Litmore, big up.
There were elements of conspiracy in this. And whilst I will not identify the potential conspirators, I will say that in the overall circumstances, the Prime Minister of Jamaica needs to remove himself from the office he now holds, so that the appropriate investigative body can go very deeply into the allegations, and that the public will be satisfied that there is no interference at the highest level. And that certainly there is no cover-up. But this calls for detailed investigation. One jumped out at me too was the way in which the investigation was conducted, where they made reference to the judge's rules, that persons who were interviewed, they were interviewed in accordance with the judge's rules. Now let me just point out one important aspect of the judge's rules. It is a warning to the person who is being questioned. And it warns the person that you need not say anything, but anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be used in evidence against you.
There were 80 people, 80 witnesses that was interviewed, you know. And Andrew Wallace went on that stage and tried to, knowing, ladies and gentlemen, that the process required the time that it took because of his lack of cooperation and timely cooperation, and mistakes that he made and gripes that he had between him and his companies and banks or companies he was associated with. You understand? But more play this audio before we continue with Mr. Listen to this.
Guys, hear this.
Andrew Holness did not tell me as a voter, as an individual, as a citizen, that he knew that he was being questioned. All this time we were operating under the pretext that this was a double thing. Nobody don't know nothing about it. Now, when you look at this report, and this is when you want to ask for facts, if you don't think the money important, the honesty, the truth is important, because you made me feel that nothing ever goes so. And if you have interviews, you have emails, you have meetings, and a one-on-one thing. One of the meetings were held at his office. So tell me, Dion as a Jamaican, even if I don't believe that the Barita people them said the thing right or the bond thing not right and I adequately earned my money, why would you not tell me that you knew that you were being questioned? For months. I sat down and I looked at the dates. For months we were at that point where we said nobody knew if they were being investigated. The Integrity Commission didn't send a letter. I don't know. Nobody has said anything to me. When you look at this report, the initial communication was September 30th, 2022 regarding the omissions in the 2021 statutory declaration. There were follow-up requests to provide additional information and corrections. February 23, 2023, March 6, 2023, March 12, 2023, April 4, 2023. He was interviewed on January 12, 2023. Further meetings and interviews were had, and a significant meeting was had on the 31st of August, 2023. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023. I'm going to make sure I write them down because we don't want to make no error. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023, informing him of the referral received for investigations regarding his 2021 statutory declarations, and the referral raised concerns about potential illicit enrichment and other issues. So here is the problem. Even if we're not concerned about the veracity, the truth in these documents, I am concerned that my leader, Dr. Andrew Holness, did not tell me as a voter, as an individual, as a citizen, that he knew that he was being questioned. All this time we were operating under the pretext that this was a double thing. Nobody don't know nothing about it. Now, when you look at this report, and this is when you want to ask for facts, if you don't think the money important, the honesty, the truth is important, because you made me feel that nothing ever goes up. And if you have interviews, you have emails, you have meetings, and a one-on-one thing. One of the meetings were held at his office. So tell me, Dion as a Jamaican, even if I don't believe that the Barita people them said the thing right or the bond thing not right and I adequately earned my money, why would you not tell me that you knew that you were being questioned?
Bingo! Yo, listen, man, there's no ways around it. The Prime Minister lied to the Jamaican public, and Ryan Campbell, big up. He lied to us. He had us believe that he don't nobody in his parliament that's under investigation. That, in my opinion, was a political lie, because it's an election year and their feet are under fire. Everybody is talking about this thing on social media. The vloggers were not letting up, although Nationwide did their best, in my opinion, to deflect on other entities, G2K and other entities, to deflect and talk about a report out of the Observer that there's 5 PMP and 3 JLP. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that distraction? They did all of this, allegedly, to distract the people because they knew, ladies and gentlemen, based off what the interactions between the Integrity Commission and Andrew Holness, he knew that this was coming. He knew it. So we don't want to hear the foolishness. I'm gonna play Mr. Carlo. Yeah, we want to know the other 7 because, as you know, I'm just gonna play Mr. KD Knight full thing because he detailed it so perfectly. Guys, please like and share the video. We need to get to 175 likes right now, and if you're watching the replay, the aim is to get to 500 likes minimum, guys. We need 500 likes. All right. So everybody on the live, hit the like button.
Conduct. We call upon the security forces, law enforcement, to investigate it thoroughly, and if there are any perpetrators, to bring them to justice. And I want to extend my personal sympathies to Mr. and Mrs. Holness and their family. Thank you. I'll now ask Senator Donna Scott-Mann.
Thank you. And I associate myself with the comments made in relation to the report of what took place last night at the Prime Minister's home. And greetings. Last evening I was given what is called a brief. It is not a brief. It is a fake document, very detailed in nature, clearly well written to the point, and it is the 172-page report of the Integrity Commission. As I read it, and I went through the 172 pages, some things jumped out at me. And one of the things that jumped out was that the allegations investigated and some of the findings made, could one person have caused these allegations to have surfaced? No. My mind as a lawyer practicing at the criminal bar saw that there were elements of conspiracy in this. And whilst I will not identify the potential conspirators, I will say that in the overall circumstances, the Prime Minister of Jamaica needs to remove himself from the office he now holds so that the appropriate investigative body can go very deeply into the allegations, and that the public will be satisfied that there is no interference at the highest level, and that certainly there is no cover-up. But this calls for detailed investigations. What jumped out at me too was the way in which the investigation was conducted, where they made reference to the judge's rules, that persons who were interviewed, they were interviewed in accordance with the judge's rules. Now, let me just point out one important aspect of the judge's rules. Is there's a warning to the person who is being questioned. And it warns the person that you need not say anything, but anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be used in evidence against you. And in this document, the warning was appropriate. Appropriate. What jumped out at me also, why would one need to have 28 accounts? Why? One would need to have 28 accounts if one was involved in businesses. Now, when I tried to find out who had the 28 accounts, I found out that it was the Prime Minister. You can't run a country and run private business at the same time. It's one or the other. one or the other. And it is clear that one of the reasons why the country is in the condition it is in now is that sufficient time is not being spent by the chief executive officer to run the country. These are business ventures. Business ventures. Jumped out at me also that, look, if it is that a prime minister is being investigated, how can he be the chief accountable officer for discipline, law and order in a country? He cannot occupy the post and find himself in this position and do that which he was elected to do efficiently. Cannot. And therefore a call for his resignation, a call is justified. It's justified. It's justified because of what this report contains, both in terms of the volume of his association with other companies and the allegations contained herein. Had this been the private sector and the private sector officer, that private sector employee would have been sent on leave pending investigation. No private company in Jamaica would have caused someone against whom these allegations have leveled to continue in the highest position in that company. I expect that there will be more press conferences, leader, and I would like to have the opportunity to go through this in greater detail. And if you would be kind enough to invite me to that press conference so I could articulate on aspects of the law. But conspiracy jumps out. Money laundering using what is called layering jumps out at me. And those are serious offenses. I do not, for 1 minute, suggest guilt. I don't. But what I suggest is that the process should be allowed to take place and those who are found culpable be held accountable. There is, leader, a call for general elections too. Well, let me just say this in closing, that as far as I am concerned, I join that call. And my advice to Mr. Honus is a simple one. I made some inquiries and I'm told that he has a bag. I say to him, start packing because you are going. And if you don't believe me, speak to Mr. Golden, Bruce that is. Pack your bags, put in your clothes and your belongings because you can't stay as Prime Minister of Jamaica because the international reputation of Jamaica is important and you have, by allowing these allegations, brought Jamaica into disrepute.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Now, a lot of people, well, not a lot, just some people in my comments saying, you stop the video too much. Some of them being disrespectful and saying I chat too much. Two things. One, you guys have to understand something about YouTube. There's something called copyright, right? When you're playing somebody's video, to stay within the guidelines of YouTube, you have to speed up the video and you have to use the music. You hear the beat in the background to stay to stay away from copyright infringement. Years from now, and I've seen this happen to big YouTubers. Years from now, the entity that owns the video can say, oh, I did not give you permission to use the video, you know, although you cited fair use, right? And they can flag a bunch of your videos and take away your channel, right? If they want, or try to at least. I remember Abba and Preach had a situation with our other group, and they sent in their rebuttal to YouTube, and thankfully they did not lose their channel. However, there has to be some type of intermission between I can't just play out the video 10 minutes. No, there has to be a stoppage and to make that point. So I'm saying to the individuals that have a problem with that, there are other channels you can go and take your watch time there. If you don't like my style, yeah, you have options. And the other thing I will say is that the link to the videos that I'm playing is in the description. So if you want to watch the video without my reaction to it and me stopping it when I choose to, you have that option as well. Good? So please, no more complaining in my comment section. I've made some adjustments, but I will not be responding kindly to any more comments of that type because of what I just explained. And I hope this message gets to each and every one of you that were complaining about somebody talking too much. What do you think I come on YouTube for? And I see some people drop off. I guess those were the people. What do you think I come on YouTube for? To not share. This is called Bolo V&R. It's about my views, my reactions, and my responses to the things that are being said. Alright? So let's just get that categorically clear. Yeah, me chat, they can chat long. That's why I have a page. If you cannot talk and dialogue, and you just want to play somebody's video and say a little thing, I don't think YouTube is for you. Alright? That's not my style. So if that's the style you like, again, there's many other platforms you can get that. But what Mr. Knight said, I agree with him 100%. All of the implications scream money laundering and tax invasion. However, I'm not saying that Mr. Prime Minister is involved. I'm saying the movement of the cash, all that was explained in the report. There's a valid concern. Now, in regards to this concern, as Mr. I think Mr. Knight and Mr. Golden said, there's no company in the world where a director, a CEO is under this type of investigation and they still hold their post as CEO of that company. So as the CEO of Jamaica, Mr. Andrew Onis, it is only right, it is only someone of high integrity would take the time and say, yes, you know what, this is the right thing to do. I have to remove myself from this post, clear my name, and then we can talk. That is it. That is it. Because you have to admit that you, whether innocently or purposefully, not knowing or omitting information, you, Mr. Holness, was in error in regards to putting in the information necessary. Right? He said make a short of that explanation and play it at the beginning of your videos. Or what I just explained about YouTube and Ray. Alright, let me write down the timestamp. I'm at the hour mark. May I send a message to myself. Thank you for that suggestion. Thank you for that suggestion. Make a short video and play it. Let me just play this in the meantime.
Especially in the lead of the next general election, the call for resignation that the police president Prime Minister's move yesterday. What do you make of those developments in relation to the upcoming election? What do you think about the show time?
Gentech, you want to answer that? Sure.
Yes, as was said earlier, we do not condone any form of threats being made to anyone who practices within the space or to any individual at all. And we believe that the police should investigate the matter thoroughly, and those who they find that were associated with such threats should be brought to justice in a very timely manner. And
thank you, Mr. Dayton Campbell. Say that again for me, please. These threats, all these threats. Leo says, bro, don't pay any attention to those complainers. They don't pay any attention to truth and knowledge. That's why they will never learn. I told you days ago, I love how you break it down for us. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I'm glad I have people that appreciate my breakdowns and the way I do what I do. You are the ones that I'm doing this for. Because you see, a child supposed to can listen to what I'm saying and understand where I'm coming from, you know. That is the aim, you know. That is the aim. Although we are speaking to like 18-year-olds and older, you know that a child brain develops at 25 fully. So when I'm explaining what I'm explaining, I want every single person to understand. This is why when certain words come up, I go to Google and I tell you the meaning, because I don't want you to not understand what he's saying. Remember, a lot of the times politicians use certain big words, and then the whole concept of what is being said is lost to the individual that is watching it. You understand? Thank you so much, Sassy81, for confirming that as well. Right? But let's continue.
Yes, as was said earlier, we do not condone any form of threats being made to anyone who practices within the space or to any individual at all. And we believe that the police should investigate the matter thoroughly, and those who they find that were associated with such threats should be brought to justice in a very timely manner. And that's what we are limited to saying today, because we do not have any better information on what took place.
What I said about the political environment.
The matter, as we've read in the report, is to refer to the financial investigation engine. Clearly, the Prime Minister's statutory declaration, they have said that it cannot be certified until the FID, I suppose, conducts an investigation and produces its findings from that investigation. You know that annually the Integrity Commission publishes the Prime Minister and the Opposition Leader's statutory declaration, and next month, and it's in October. What would be your suggestion, if any, to the FID in order to facilitate the process in terms of allowing the Integrity Commission to be able to, as quickly as possible, make a decision on the Prime Minister's statutory declaration? Because over 3 years now, effective next month, the Prime Minister's statutory declaration has not been certified. So what would be your suggestion to the FID as they approach your investigation?
First of all, I don't think it's appropriate for me to make suggestions to the FID as to how they should conduct their responsibilities, functions, and obligations. All I would say is that I think that the Parliament should cooperate in the referral of the matter to them, to the FID. In any event, I think the FID should have its own motion, embark on the reference, and look into the matter thoroughly. As has been said, the report raises significant issues that need further investigation. They touch on not only illicit enrichment, but I believe the inquiry of the FID must look at money laundering as well, and conspiracy, as Mr. Knight, King's Counsel, mentioned. But I would just say that how they go about it is up to them. I would just ask that they enter on the reference quickly and do their work thoroughly.
Yeah, but what I was suggesting is that it is not fair to have the Prime Minister hanging in the balance in the run-up to a general election. So I'm just wondering, in terms of expedition, the resources that the FID may need, they may need additional resources. But when I said your suggestion, what I was hinting at, we believe that the resources should be provided, whether from overseas, forensic support, whatever it is that they need to be able to conduct an investigation very quickly.
Well, our position is that the Prime Minister should resign and that the investigation should proceed. In terms of resources, yes, the FID must be adequately resourced to do the investigation. That, I think, is a basic requirement for there to be both fairness and thoroughness, and so that the outcome of the investigation can enjoy the trust and confidence of the public.
But may I say, Edmond, it's a very important question that you have asked, and it has highlighted the conundrum in which we find ourselves, because the direction...
I'm a female, brother. My name is Leo. It's a unisex name. We're both male and female. I understand unisex, but I don't like unisex names for that reason. Because once I see Leo, I'm thinking you're a man. But blessings to you, Leo Reynolds. Blessings to your sister.
Would have to come from the highest possible level to ensure that the resources are provided and to assist with all that the FID would need to proceed quickly. And the question which is raised is, would the Prime Minister...
This lady is saying something so important.
Proceed.
I have to highlight
resources, yes. The FID must be adequately resourced to do the investigation. That, I think, is a basic requirement for there to be both fairness and thoroughness, and so that the outcome of the investigation can enjoy the trust and confidence of the public.
But may I say, Edmond, it's a very important question that you have asked, and it has highlighted the conundrum in which we find ourselves.
Conundrum. Let's look up that word. What is that word right there? Let's look it up. Conundrum. Conundrum. The meaning of that word. Alright? People say them a teacher, you know, on this thing, you know. And I think we all are teachers and we can teach each other. So for the people that don't know what conundrum means and you need a refresher, here it is. Conundrum is a confusing and difficult problem. So this situation is confusing and it's a very, very difficult problem. Velma, how you doing? Says warm greetings to the family. Big up, Velma, big up. Let's play that back. Alright, so conundrum is a confusing situation.
Confidence of the public.
But may I say, Edmond, it's a very important question.
Salute, Sharon, salute.
And it has highlighted the conundrum in which we find ourselves, because the directions would have to come from the highest possible level to ensure that the resources are provided and to assist with all that the FID would need to proceed quickly. And the question which is raised is, would the Prime Minister, in fact, having regard to these fulsome allegations, have an interest in having it expedited before a general election?
That is a very good question. What would motivate the Prime Minister? Yes, me and some assume members of the PMP, but listen, him in a trouble, him have a lot of money for waste, obviously. Anyway, that is a politically driven Sivaza Sue, Dr. Nathan Campbell. That's a distraction. Let's focus on the Integrity Commission report. Don't worry about him as soon or PMP. Them have lawyers, them have their money, they know what them do. And they know what to actually say and what not to say. Alright? You see, a defamation lawsuit is not easily, how would I say it? It's hard to prove defamation. It's hard. Same like how the lady in the Integrity Commission said she threw out the recommendation for Andrew Williams to get charged because they can't prove saying intentionally or he did not give them information or he didn't know. You know what I'm saying? That's defamation is kind of similar to that. It's a kind of gray area. It is hard to prove defamation. I mean, you really have to say something out of the way and continuously doing it, right, for a defamation lawsuit to be won. It's not that easy. But that to me is just a smoke screen. But what this lady just said, what is the interest Andrew Williams would have as the leader of the country to fund the FID to investigate him? This is why it's a conundrum. This is why we're in deep-ish. This is why Andrew Williams needs to resign. Because it is the public interest that this investigation is given the full cooperation of the government of Jamaica. And I will take it a step further. Why would his wife, as the Speaker of the House, if Andrew Williams was to resign, who would be put in place immediately? Is it Horace Chang? Horace Chang will be put in place. Isn't Horace Chang somebody that was allegedly under investigation overseas for the same thing that Andrew Williams is under investigation of? You see, this is a big conundrum, ladies and gentlemen. We have a entire party that we cannot really trust, in my opinion, to do the morally right thing or the thing the thing of integrity. You understand? We have a party that did not sign the code of conduct. That's what we have right here. They're operating without signing the code of conduct, ladies and gentlemen. One of the highest documents anybody could that is in leadership could sign. They found it not important to sign. He's not credible at all. It don't look good, Ivan. This is very, very serious, you know. If you really peel back the layers and think about it. If Andrew Holness was to resign, Horace Chang is going to be the Prime Minister. After all of the things about Horace Chang and the statements that he made, do we trust Horace Chang to be in office? A general election needs to be called immediately. As soon as Andrew Holness resigns, a general election date needs to be called. Because whoever is in office don't need to stay there for a long time. I think, this is what I think. I think Andrew Holness has put, this is about the JLP now. I think Andrew Holness has put the JLP in the position that the PMP was 8 years ago. I believe the JLP should be totally dismantled. There should be no remnants of past or old players in the JLP. I don't know if the Jamaican public can ever trust anybody in the JLP anymore. Even when you see G2K moving, they are supposed to be what? They are supposed to be the young arm of the JLP. But look at the stuff that they're putting on, and look at the leader, or one of the leaders of the G2K. Wasn't there allegations against him about some SA? Yo, listen, man. This is not funny, you know. But, you know, sometimes the pressure is so much, you have to really like, yo. And Christopher Tufton is not credible either. This is the person that said that the people in the pandemic, if they want water, they should take the juke. I will never stop reminding people about that. I will never forgive Christopher Tufton for those statements. Never. I don't care how much degree him have. It said a lot about his character. And you need leaders with good character. And in my opinion, Christopher Tufton is not of good character based off those statements alone. Horace Chang is not of good character. Warmington is not of good character. In my opinion, Juliet Cuthbert is not of good character. In my opinion, the fact that she stood up there and said what she said after Mr. Andrew Holness statements, the gall. I'm talking about Baga. Well, is a Baga banger and going in a funeral party with funeral leader. And again, I'm not PMP and JLP. I'm just a concerned citizen. I'm not PMP or JLP, and I'm not UIC. Right? I am not tied to any political organization. As much as how some people in the comment section might want to say that. Big up Cherry Garden in our place. Patrick in our place. But now I see your last name, because the last name the why. You understand? Patrick W, big up. You understand? Bolo, not if Andrew Holness to reign. He is to resign right now and go on a character where him have his investment business. No. No, listen to me. Smaddy need to go to prison. Or people need to go to prison. The rabbit hole that this potentially has need to be open wide. You understand? We need serious people and officials of integrity to stand behind this investigation. Yeah. That's what we need. Because this is embarrassing. This is really, really embarrassing.
We don't know the answer to. But it illustrates
the conundrum,
the conflicts which arise because of this situation.
Which is why I've said
and to assist with
can enjoy the trust and
important question that you have asked, and it has highlighted the conundrum in which we find ourselves, because the directions would have to come from the highest possible level to ensure that the resources are provided and to assist with all that the FID would need to proceed quickly. And the question which is raised is, would the Prime Minister, in fact, having regard to these fulsome allegations, have an interest in having it expedited before a general election? That we don't know the answer to. But it illustrates
The conundrum.
the conflicts which arise because of this situation.
Which is why I've said he's put Jamaica in an untenable position, because he's the head of government. And these are agencies that fall within the public sector and are part of the state and the government. So it's really an unprecedented and very, very difficult situation the country is in.
Look at Andrew Holness' legacy, man. This is the man legacy, no?
Embarrassing as well, locally and internationally.
Chairman Campbell, Nationwide News. Two questions, Mr. Bowen. The first, you suggest that the criminal investigation into the Prime Minister is incomplete. But wouldn't that criminal investigation in terms of illicit enrichment and breaches of the Integrity Commission Act and the Corruption Prevention Act be concluded on the basis that the Director of Prosecutions for the Integrity Commission says the Prime Minister has no case on those fronts to answer to?
No, the ruling of the Director of Corruption Prosecutions is only on one aspect of it, and that was to do with some bank accounts that the Prime Minister's parents had, on which he had been added as a signatory. And she said that there wasn't a basis for saying that he knowingly failed to include them in his declaration. In order to be culpable for that, he would have to show that he deliberately did that. And she said, well, but that's really a relatively minor part of what this report is about, despite what your radio station had suggested in the run-up to the tabling. The major aspect of this is to do with the complex and seemingly irregular transactions involving the Prime Minister and his companies. And that is what needs to be properly and fulsomely investigated. And the Integrity Commission has indicated that they've taken it as far as they can go, and they're recommending that it be referred to the FID to be completed. And we support that call.
The next question is essentially a two-parter. If the Integrity Commission felt it was so necessary to refer the matter to the FID, why have they not done so to this point when they have an MOU with the FID that allows them to essentially share information and to coordinate? And then why add to that their call essentially for the Parliament to endorse it? Why not simply go ahead and make that referral?
I can't answer those questions. I think you have to direct those questions to the Integrity Commission. The report is a report by a Commission of Parliament, which is the Integrity Commission is a Commission of Parliament. They report to Parliament. So they saw fit, I think, to call upon the Parliament to support the recommendations that they were making. But I'm not in a position to answer the first aspect as to why or whether they have or haven't. I really don't know. Yeah, they may have. We don't know.
In the report, the final recommendation from the Director of the Investigation spoke to parliamentarians and public servants buying shares in public companies and of course some private companies, and concerns were raised about insider trading. And so what he said or recommended was stronger legislation to combat that. What are your thoughts on this? What's your position on it?
Well, insider trading is an offence under the Securities Act already, and the FSC has the statutory role and responsibility over that act. But I agree that there needs to be clearer guidelines, or certainly the guidelines, if they exist, should be revisited and tested for accuracy in light of the kind of activities that leaders in the country are apparently engaged in while they're in government, so that there are clear guidelines that elected representatives, especially those in government, are required to follow. It is clear that, for example, in the case of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation and the OPM, the Office of the Prime Minister, both of which obviously fall under Mr. Holness, they have such a huge swathe of the public sector that come under those two offices, that ministry and that office. And with the Prime Minister being responsible for board appointments in the plethora of public bodies that come under his portfolio responsibilities. For him as a minister, or indeed Mrs. Holness as his wife, to be involved actively in commercial activities that are regulated by those bodies or seek permits or approvals from them, creates real possibilities of conflicts of interest. So I understand why the Integrity Commission have raised that point, and I do support the call for there to be further developed rules and guidelines that can inform how, if at all, persons in these kinds of positions may or may not engage in these activities.
Mr. Wood, just to follow up on that. The Director of Investigation is not the first time that he has made recommendations regarding conflict of interest matters. Previously, he made recommendations in regard to West One, that investigation that was done regarding the Prime Minister. And there was another investigation that he did where he suggested that the government should contemplate, or the Parliament contemplate, putting legislation together to deal with the whole question of conflict of interest. What are your thoughts on that?
I support the need for it, as I've just said. I mean, the way in which legislation is typically developed, especially legislation that's starting from scratch, or where a fresh approach is needed, is that the policy is developed within the government. By the bureaucracy and the experts that are in it, and is developed in an iterative process where all relevant stakeholders are engaged, it's consultation, and then it's taken to cabinet for drafting instructions to be prepared and approved to go to the drafters for drafting. And after that, there's a lengthy process of internal review and finalization before it finally goes to cabinet for the legislation committee of cabinet to read it word for word and then send it back to cabinet for approval to be tabled. So it's when you see legislation come to parliament, you're really looking at the tip of an iceberg of activities that have taken place to get it there. So it's really for the government to engage the processes of government on this particular issue of how to address these conflicts of interest so that the policy can be developed, and I would support that. Yeah.
Two final questions for Mr. Golding. The first is, would you...
We seriously need those policies developed, because, you know, this is why I believe that every single Jamaican needs to be educating themselves on the role of government officials and also these policies. We have a unique opportunity accusations against the Prime Minister. Guys, please like and share the video. If we are not at 200 likes right now, something is not right. Seriously. But we need, ladies and gentlemen, to continuously put interest. And I'm not just talking about older people. I'm talking about young people. We need to get our young people, the fresh minds, the ones that are sparking. You know what I'm saying? Their brains are just active. We need to get them involved in the political process more, so we can get better understanding. A very unique opportunity right here to educate ourselves even more of the political process, because I believe that you know, men are men, you know, so they're always going to look for a loophole. There's always going to be a Judas. There's always going to be some political member, right, that is trying their utmost best to cheat the system and cheat the Jamaican people because they see access to all this money. I believe that there's always going to be that, right? And I think it can happen on any side of the fence. JLP, PMP, UIC, does not matter. What matters is those policies that are put in place, right? 500 subs. Share the content. Oh, you talk about likes. We want the likes to go to 500. Yeah, I think the policies that are put in place is extremely important to the development of this country and how we operate. How you doing, Joan? How we operate as a country. So those persons that want to try to actually grab and steal from the purse, the checks and balances that are there, right, can catch them easier and quicker, and the red flags will be raised in a more immediate fashion. But it's for us to, like I said, stay involved in the process. And we need a government that also involves us in the process. This is going to take reading, guys. This is going to take time. The persons that actually go out of their way and do the research. He said, repeat that again. Yeah, man. We need better understanding as to what is taking place. We need to start paying attention. Yeah. Delroy Henry, big up. He said, Power Friday. Bless it. It's Friday already? If we're going to be masters of our destiny, we must be masters of our ideas that influence our destiny. Keep up the good work. Much appreciated. UK up. Oh, a Friday for you already. Oh, me understand. Big up. Big up to UK. I forgot. It's a Friday a while ago. Me I say Friday. I forget it's Friday somewhere. Beverly Small said, but you have the youth organization. There's a youth arm for the JLP. I don't know if there's a youth arm for the PMP, but outside of the JLP and the PMP, I'm saying the regular citizens of Jamaica have to be more involved. We have to depend on case PP clock. You understand what I'm saying? We have to be on their case PP clock. There's nothing at all that they should be doing that we don't know about. There's no decisions that they should be making that we should not be informed about. There need to be the policies in place in that way. There needs to be an interactive website with the government to keep us informed about everything. No matter how much reading it take, make sure it's there. Somebody is going to read it that is interested, but you can't say it wasn't documented, is my point. See, the transparency and accountability is so important. This is why the code of conduct is so important, which the JLP did not sign. Right? This person, can somebody block that person for me, please? No, I'll do it. Because there's nothing that I've said that requires defamation. Even if you look at my titles, I'm very meticulous. Question mark. It is a question. But you don't pay attention to that. And that is where you're going to your emotions because you're a worshipper of Andrew Holness. It is a question. Ma'am, sir, whoever you are. Alright? But yeah, back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by a foolish statement in the comment section. And that person seriously, hold on there. That person seriously did all of that to be deleted from the channel. You subscribe just to be deleted? Wow, that's crazy. Defamation my ass. Defamation my ass. I use allegations very well. That word is key. He said, Bolo, truth is continuous examination and facts always supersedes belief. Back in London, after being in Jamrock for 5 months, getting a lot of work done. Jamaica love. Shout out. Yeah, man.
At least agree that the commissioners of the Integrity Commission and the members and the directors should face the joint the Oversight Committee to answer further questions.
Oh wow, Rose McIntosh said she was just browsing and found this very informative. Man, that means a lot. That means a lot. That means a lot. Hey, remember to share the live with 10 persons. If they don't catch the live, they'll catch the replay. Alright? And I'm sure they'll be happy to receive the information. Because you see, a lot of people covering this now, but you don't know who don't know. That's why, as a content creator, you just have to put out the content. Because who it needs to reach, and big up, a real big up to Miss Genesis one. A big up to Miss Akimi, a big up to Miss Yo Thoughts, a big up to Miss Genesis and Miss Collins. And these are some of the day ones on this platform. And they always told me, Bolo, do the content. Especially Miss Genesis. You never know who is watching. And once you do it, the information is there. And it will reach who it's supposed to reach. Don't watch how much people is in the chat right now. Right? Don't watch that. Because this video is going to reach somebody months from now that needed this information, that was unaware of this information a week from now, 2 weeks from now. So just do the content and put out it in the best way you know how to, and God will work out the rest, and time will work out the rest. And that's what I've been doing. So big shout out to them.
Regarding this matter, considering the report has now been tabled and essentially the gag clause has been lifted? And the second question is, would you support now, in light of what has happened over the past few months with the Integrity Commission, that said gag clause be removed from the Integrity Commission Act?
I think the issue of the so-called gag clause is obviously a live one for the media, and they have been for a long time complaining about it. It has a history as to why it's there, based on past events prior to the Integrity Commission even coming into existence. And I think there needs to be an appropriate balance struck. And the attempt was made in the provision that you find offensive, because it simply says that until the investigation is complete and the report is tabled in Parliament, it should not become a public document. It should remain a confidential document within the Integrity Commission.
All right, let's speak on that. And big up Marky G for explaining that, what it simply says. Now, here is the conundrum we find ourselves in, Marky G, which you know, and a lot of Jamaican people know. The problem is, the Prime Minister's wife is the Speaker of the House. That is the problem. We need to have a Speaker of the House that is not tied to any one of these political parties, that don't have any biases. Who has more bias than the wife of the Prime Minister in tabling reports? You notice she did not come and table the report that was against her husband. They had some excuse, right? Okay, cool. How convenient. That's for your mind to go wherever you want to go with it, whether you believe that or not what they put out. The fact of the matter is, it is a huge conflict of interest for the Prime Minister's wife to be the Speaker of the House. And if the PMP at the time co-signed it, you are wrong and in error to do so. And that is a charge against the PMP for doing that. They should have never co-signed her being the Speaker of the House. And we can see now, based off actions in the last few months, where these reports are concerned, and the lack of tabling, or the tabling in time, the dragging of the tabling, in my opinion, right? And again, I'm entitled to my opinion. Your opinion cannot get into lawsuit. Everybody have opinion like everybody have a ass. You understand? Everybody got an a-hole, just like an opinion, right? My opinion does not affect nothing in the court of law. I'm a citizen, and looking on, I have a certain opinion about the Prime Minister and his dealings and the way he's moving. It is shiesty in my opinion, right? It screams lack of integrity. It screams, in my opinion, we need to look into tax invasion and money laundering. There needs to be an investigation on that. That is my opinion, because this don't look good. This is a serious, actually a serious situation right here. No matter how JLP people want to downplay this, this is one of the biggest scandals in the history of government. This scandal right here, a sitting Prime Minister is under this type of investigation right now. Biggest scandal ever. Look on SSL, look on all of it. All of it is just suspicious. And no well-thinking person can't say otherwise. None. It's crazy.
On the face of it, that is inoffensive. What has become problematic, I think, is the length of time that these investigations have been taking, because of the fact that they inherited a body of work as a new institution. They had to get themselves up and running institutionally as an amalgamation of other entities that were brought into one. And it's taken them a while to clear that backlog and so on. But I'm prepared to have a discussion about that issue, and I have an open mind on it. I don't want to say definitively how I feel, because I think I'd like to have the benefit of that discussion before I arrive at the position. Yeah. Yes. The first part of the question to do with what they was like, am I understanding? Huh? Yeah, I believe they've convened a meeting for the 3rd of October. Of the Integrity Oversight Committee. I can tell you, though, that the intent behind the legislation with that committee was for it not to get into the weeds and nitty-gritty of reports that go to Parliament. That is really a matter for Parliament as a whole. The purpose of the Oversight Committee is to review the operations of the Integrity Commission, the resources that are available to them, and the need for changes in the legislation that can be so that recommendations can be made to make the Integrity Commission more robust, more efficacious, more effective. That's really what the Oversight Committee is about. It's not to have a sort of second bite at the cherry to review specific reports that have been investigated and tabled. Those are to be debated in Parliament, and Parliament is to make a decision as to what should happen based on the recommendations in those reports.
Wait. That was key a while ago. When said about the Oversight Committee? Hold on there.
At the Oversight Committee to answer further questions regarding this matter, considering the report has now been tabled and
listen to this, guys,
has been lifted. And the second question is, would you support now, in light of what has happened over the past few months with the Integrity Commission, that said gag clause be removed from the Integrity Commission Act?
I think the issue of the so-called gag clause is obviously a live one for the media, and they have been for a long time complaining about it. It has a history as to why it's there, based on past events prior to the Integrity Commission even coming into existence. And I think there needs to be an appropriate balance struck. And the attempt was made in the provision that you find offensive, because it simply says that until the investigation is complete and the report is tabled in Parliament, it should not become a public document. It should remain a confidential document within the Integrity Commission. On the face of it, that is inoffensive. What has become problematic, I think, is the length of time that these investigations have been taking, because of the fact that they inherited a body of work as a new institution. They had to get themselves up and running institutionally as an amalgamation of other entities that were brought into one. And it's taken them a while to clear that backlog and so on. But I'm prepared to have a discussion about that issue, and I have an open mind on it. I don't want to say definitively how I feel, because I think I would like to have the benefit of that discussion before I arrive at the position. Yeah. Yes. The first part of the question to do with what they was like. Am I understanding? Huh? Yeah, I believe they've convened a meeting for the 3rd of October. Of the Integrity Oversight Committee. I can tell you, though, that the intent behind the legislation with that committee was for it not to get into the weeds and nitty-gritty of reports that go to Parliament. That is really a matter for Parliament as a whole. The purpose of the Oversight Committee is to review the operations of the Integrity Commission, the resources that are available to them, and the need for changes in the legislation that can be so that recommendations can be made to make the Integrity Commission more robust, more efficacious, more effective. That's really what the Oversight Committee is about. It's not to have a sort of second bite at the cherry to review specific reports that have been investigated and tabled. Those are to be debated in Parliament, and Parliament is to make a decision as to what should happen based on the recommendations in those reports.
So the Oversight Committee is there to actually boost and strengthen the Integrity Commission, is what I'm hearing now. That's beautiful. Yo, that's what I'm talking about. That is very, very good to hear. That is very, very good to hear. No, seriously, like I said, the world is watching. The world is watching. And the PMP calls for number 28 to leave with some integrity. You understand? And Jonas must resign. And I stand on that. What is happening is absurd, it's ridiculous. And it makes no sense to me why people are trying to defend what is going on. And I'm sure a lot of them have not read the document. And that is what very disheartening. They did not read the document. You understand what I'm saying? They did not read the document, ladies and gentlemen. That is sad, man. That is sad. But let me share this real quick, because we're nearing the 2-hour mark. Remember this.
Fucking liar. No, listen this.
Answer is that I have asked as far and as wide. I have gotten a response from everyone, but as far as I have been told, no. People have been written to, as the Integrity Commission does almost daily. But I have not heard of anyone in my political party being written to for this matter of illicit enrichment.
And you're one of the
Hey, listen, man. This is where we have to stop. We have to remember this. Do not forget that the Prime Minister lied to the Jamaican people. Right? When documents, bro, the man was in a meeting in his office with the Integrity Commission. How the hell can you tell us that you did not know? Right? How? This is ridiculous. And people are trying to defend this. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Hey, the man's a liar, bumble in a man.
Can't deal with,
up with 28 bank account.
Me can't deal with talking about this.
And you just say no businessman, you're prime minister. How the fuck you with 28 bank account?
Lord, oh Lord.
Yeah, you know, all this conversation about whether the prime minister should go, we should wait until the evidence is there. There's a little thing that bothers me every time we have this conversation called an adverse stress. You know, we never wait in the real world for somebody from Greenmount, Churchdown, or Tivoli. Whenever the police decide upon their investigation that you have some connection or something is not right about you, they call it adverse stress. You've never been convicted and you've never been charged, but you're treated a particular way. There is no reason why those who are above that address should have this escape route that says, let me wait until I get a charge or a conviction. For months. And I sat down and I looked at the dates.
No, listen to this. Like and
we were
share.
at that point where we said, nobody knew if they were being investigated. The Integrity Commission didn't send a letter. I don't know. Nobody has said anything to me. When you look at this report, the initial communication was September 30th, 2022 regarding the omissions in the 2021 statutory declaration. There were follow-up requests to provide additional information and corrections. February 23, 2023, March 6, 2023, March 12, 2023, April 4, 2023. He was interviewed on January 12, 2023. Further meetings and interviews were had, and a significant meeting was had on the 31st of August 2023. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023. Let me make sure I'm write them down because we don't want to make no error. A letter was sent on May 5th, 2023, informing him of the referral received for investigations regarding his 2021 statutory declarations, and the referral raised concerns about potential illicit enrichment and other issues. So here's the problem. Even if we're not concerned about the veracity, the truth in these documents, I am concerned that my leader, Dr. Andrew Holmes, did not tell me as a voter, as an...
Point of correction, him is not a doctor. He do one look online course and China then give him one common P and one common H. And him a brag about him a PhD. He is not a fucking doctor. I must Dr. Fish.
That is
Him
funny, honey.
So look a fake PhD right here about them around with. Tell him to go do the research again. He is not a fucking doctor. He is not a doctorate. Any doctorate you can get a China then build one game. With a common P and a common H. Nothing capital about it. So one China made doctorate you have. Him is not a doctor.
Embarrassing.
Don't make him fool.
He needs some milk.
Individual as a citizen that he knew that he was being questioned. All this time we were operating under the pretext that this was a double thing. Nobody know nothing about it. Now, when you look at this report,
embarrassing.
And if you don't think the money important, the honesty, the truth is important because you made me
big up
feel
yourself. I'm on big up yourself. Bolo V&R in our place.
And if you have interviews,
Barbara,
you have emails, you have
Ran,
meetings,
big up
and a
yourself.
one-on-one thing. One of the meetings were held at his office. So tell me, Dion.
On a year, she said one of the meeting held in at the Prime Minister office and the thief in fucker come out.
Embarrassing. He needs some milk.
Yeah, listen.
I said nobody no know nobody.
Man, we can lie.
Commission right too. When one of the meeting keeping a fee in office.
Yo, he might lie.
Wife, I want the illicit 6-2. And based on how I say Harry Strong, I go check you right. You right the speaker name, you right.
Allegedly. Lord have mercy. Allegedly.
Based on how I say Harry Strong go big off, go boom off you right fist. I think Harry Strong one of the illicit 6-8 too.
Oh Lord.
I honestly believe.
Allegedly. I believe still, so you know. No defamation in this.
I think Juliet Onus is one too. Cause that the $800 million apartment we have. We went to
Lord have mercy. $800 million apartment in yo. Where them get them money there from?
Through them have no money, we want only wedding and fish fry. Come on, $800 million apartment. I mean, how much truck they have on road?
Allegedly.
And you want to say he acts far and wide, and nobody no come up under the radar. And the illicit enrichment when Andrew want to see himself and the illicit enrichment probe. What a lion fucker.
Me, Dion, as a Jamaican.
Yo, listen, man. Yo, I can't deal with this dude, man. Yo,
that is funny, honey.
Y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. I can't deal with Talking Mind TV, man. Talking Mind TV is insane, bro. This dude is. Shout out to Talking Mind TV.